We're working to connect a region of over 600 new bridges between our lands.
Hello and welcome to ASEAN in Focus. I'm Nea Mangawang, delivering you the latest news in and around the ASEAN region. On today's headlines. Confirmed deaths in Laos dam disaster now stand at 26, with 131 others still missing. Indonesian military uncovers more than 20 hectares of marijuana farm in the middle of a forest on Sumatra Island. And a team of scientists from the U.S. National Aeronautics and Space Administration (NASA) visits the Philippines to participate in National Science and Technology Week. People gather around a helicopter in Laos after a dam collapse swamped several villages, killing at least 26 people, with 131 people still missing. The Vietnamese Times reported that 3,000 were in need of rescue as of Wednesday afternoon, taking shelter in trees and on rooftops. Footage on Lao television showed people huddled on roofs awaiting rescue as muddy water swirled menacingly just below dam, with the army and local volunteers leading the rescue effort. Survivors have questioned why they got little warning of the deluge, which inundated several villages across a vast area with several meters of floodwater. Two South Korean contractors said they had reported damage a day before parts of the Shenamnoy Dam gave way Monday and unleashed a wall of water. Thai consular official Chana Miancharon at the scene of the relief effort said that by late afternoon Wednesday, 26 bodies had been uncovered or had been recovered. Questions began to emerge over the collapse, with some of the displaced saying they were warned to leave their homes only hours before disaster struck. China and the Philippines are among the worst affected countries in the world due to the natural disasters. As in previous years, Asian countries were worst affected by displacement associated with disasters. In the last year, 18.8 million new internal displacements associated with disasters were recorded in 135 countries and territories, according to the recent global report on internal displacement. Weather-related hazards triggered the vast majority of displacement, with floods accounting for 8.6 million and storms 7.5 million in 2017. The East Asian region is most prone to natural disasters and accounted for 46% of the total displacement. China recorded the highest number of internal displacement, with 4.4 million displaced internally in 2017. Floods in Yunnan in southern China between June and July led to the region's largest displacement, more than 1,620,000 people. Further flooding displaced 547,000 in other southern provinces. Philippines is located along the Pacific Typhoon Belt and Ring of Fire and is exposed to recurring typhoons, storms, and landslides that displaced around 2.5 million people in the last 1 year. India had the third highest number of people displaced in the region, with 1.2 million internal displacements. Vietnam is one of the most disaster-prone countries in the world. According to the report, more than 70% of the population live in coastal areas and low-lying deltas exposed to typhoons, tropical storms, and floods. The last year saw around 633,000 people displaced. In Indonesia, the recurrent volcanic eruptions, landslides, floods, and earthquakes have displaced around 365,000 people, while natural disasters displaced 351,000 in Myanmar and 135,000 in Sri Lanka. A tropical storm known as Kai Tak and some small-scale floods displaced 82,000 people in Malaysia. Lesser number of displacements were reported from Japan and Pakistan in the last year. However, with the recent unprecedented floods in Japan, the number of displaced people will be higher than the numbers displaced. A Vietnamese man has been given almost 4 years in prison for taking part in the dramatic abduction of a businessman on the streets of Berlin last July. A Berlin court ruled the 47-year-old was guilty of taking part in activity for Vietnamese intelligence and hiring a car for the plot. Ex-oil executive Trinh Xuan Tan, also Vietnamese, was seeking asylum in Germany when he was dragged into a van. He then turned up in Vietnam and was jailed for life on corruption charges. German prosecutors said the abduction was a state-organized kidnapping by Vietnamese Secret Service and that it was reminiscent of the Cold War. The man on trial, identified only as Long Na, confessed to his role and received a reduced sentence of 3 years and 10 months. The court said he was not involved at the highest level of the plot. Trinh Xuan Tan had fled Vietnam when he was accused of racking up some $150 million in losses at state oil firm Petro-Vietnam Construction as part of a state anti-corruption drive. He had previously been in charge of the company and was a one-time Communist Party official. Meanwhile, the Indonesian military uncovers more than 20 hectares of marijuana farm in the middle of a forest on Sumatra Island. Take a listen.
Hari ini kurang lebih 20 hektar dengan posisi tersebar perbukitan, ada yang di bawah juga di atas. Kita juga punya alat sintan, alat-alat pertanian. Nanti kalau memang bisa dimanfaatkan di lokasi ini, kita bisa dorong. Termasuk nanti rencana kita bantu pembibitan bibit tanaman yang bermanfaat. Nanti saya akan koordinasi dengan Dinas dan Ramil maupun Dinas Pertanian termasuk kepala dusun.
Indonesian drug laws are among the strictest in Southeast Asia, yet the use of illegal drugs is relatively high in some parts of the country. ASEAN in Focus will be right back. Please stay with us.
I am here at Gastown, which is a National Historic Site in Vancouver, British Columbia. Located in Vancouver's oldest neighborhood is the steam-powered clock, which is Gastown's most famous landmark. Make sure to tune in to Digital Nest every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 p.m. I am Lou Aquino, EBC correspondent, and I am 1 with 25.
How will we keep the prices down?
Pero baka matulungan niyo ako dito. May kaibigan ako taga-Kapitolyo. Baka kilala niyo ho?
Pep News, Linggo, alas 4 hanggang alas 5 ng hapon.
Welcome back. Cambodia goes to the polls on Sunday, but without a serious opposition on the ballot sheet. Hun Sen is poised to win big and extend his 33-year stay as Prime Minister. Watch this.
A helicopter landing. A tightly controlled crowd. Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Sen's public appearances are always carefully orchestrated. After 33 years at the helm of the country, it doesn't appear the veteran Khmer fighter will have any problems in the upcoming election.
I put my hope in you. Uncle Hun Sen will be Prime Minister for another 10 years at least.
He paints himself as a paternal figure, like at this meeting with textile workers. But behind the image of a caring father, Hun Sen is a man who doesn't tolerate competition. One of his opponents, Kem Sokha, is currently behind bars, accused of treason and espionage. Another critic, Sam Rainsy, is in self-imposed exile in France, appealing to others to boycott the election.
For the first time, Hun Sen is seriously threatened. A government from an electoral joke will not be recognized internationally, and no government in Cambodia can survive without international legitimacy.
But without a serious opposition, Hun Sen is poised to win big. He has woven strong political and economic networks and placed his children in key posts.
Hun Sen Galaxy, what we call the ruling elite of Cambodia, which is made of the security forces, the ruling party, and Hun Sen family and relative, it basically controls the entire institutions of Cambodia and large sectors of the economy.
His younger son, Hun Mani, has shown a desire to succeed his father. But he'll have to wait. 65-year-old Hun Sen does not look ready yet to call it quits.
In related news, as Cambodia prepares to head to the polls for the July 29 general election, Andrea Georgetta, director of the Asian Desk, detects a certain fatigue among Cambodian people amid an election process that has been not inclusive, not participatory, and not genuine. He says the threat from the authorities on the boycott campaign is an overreaction of the government to something which is only an image problem. Let's listen in.
The threat by the Election Commission to take action on those who boycott the election obviously is part of Hun Sen's strategy to have the highest amount of people to show up on voting day, because that's the last card that he can play to show the international community that the election is credible and legitimate. But this is not what is happening, and in fact we know that the election process has been not inclusive, not participatory, and not genuine. We detect a certain fatigue among the Cambodian people and also lack of interest for elections where there is no mandatory vote and where a boycott is perfectly legal. There is no evidence in other countries and from precedents that election boycotts have actually worked. So in fact the government is overreacting to something that it is not actually a problem for them, because apart from an image problem, nobody will ever remember what the turnout in the election is. Only genuine, credible and participatory and inclusive polls will determine whether he really is popular and the leader of his own people. And this is not what is happening at the moment, because the polls don't meet international standard of election. We've seen over the past few years that in fact dissent has shifted from the physical space, from the streets, to the online sphere, to the cyber sphere. And that is why Hun Sen has been very quick to catch up and enact new laws and take new actions to go after government critics that mostly operate on the internet, on Facebook. The Hun Sen Galaxy, what we call the ruling elite of Cambodia, which is made of the security forces, the ruling party, and Hun Sen family and relative, it basically controls the entire institutions of Cambodia and large sectors of the economy.
To other news, new vehicle sales in Southeast Asia's 6 largest markets picked up momentum in the second part of 2018, with sales rising by 7.5% to 846,865 units from 787,773 units in the same period of 2017, according to data collected by AsiaMotorBusiness.com from the mainstream local trade associations. This compares with growth of just 1.6% in the first quarter, resulting in a 4.5% rise in first-half sales to 1,675,434 units from 1,602,959 units previously. The second quarter improvement reflects mainly a sharp upturn in the Thai market from an already strong first quarter. Stronger growth was also reported in Indonesia, while sales in Malaysia recovered after a negative first quarter. Economic growth has been strong in most countries in Southeast Asia so far this year, particularly in Thailand, Vietnam, and the Philippines, although the strengthening US dollar has put a significant upward pressure on interest rates across the region. New vehicle sales in the Philippines fell by over 16% to 85,320 units in the second quarter, resulting in a 12.5% drop in first-half sales to 171,357 units from 195,772 units a year earlier. The decline follows 4 years of exceptionally strong growth for the market and came as the government began to overhaul of the country's tax system at the beginning of the year. Meanwhile, a team of scientists from the U.S. National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA, visited the Philippines to participate in National Science and Technology Week, or NSTW. During their visit, the NASA scientists interacted with Filipino scientists, engineering students, and high school teachers and highlighted NASA's collaboration with the Philippine government on climate research and weather monitoring. During the NSTW opening ceremony on July 17, NASA and the U.S. Embassy in the Philippines handed over 336 specialized lenses for mosquito identification to the Philippine Department of Science and Technology's Philippine Science High School program. The lenses were provided through the U.S. government-funded Global Learning and Observations to Benefit the Environment, or GLOBE program, a U.S.-led initiative to promote citizen science to fight mosquito-borne diseases in 22 countries, including the Philippines. As part of the NSTW activities, NASA Deputy Chief Technologist Florence Tan participated in a July 20 panel discussion about the use of space technology with Philippine academics, scientists, and government officials. She fielded questions on space debris, prospects for human visitation to Mars, and NASA's programming in the Philippines. NSTW is organized by the Philippine Department of Science and Technology. The week-long event brings scientists and students together for 5 days of activities, presentations, and interactive exhibits on cutting-edge scientific research and technology benefiting the Philippines. We'll be back after this break. Stay tuned.
We greet our beloved Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, and all the members of the Church of Christ around the world. Happy 104th anniversary! Happy 104th anniversary po!
Here at the Shoe Museum in Marikina in the Philippines, reminding you to watch Digital Note every Tuesday and Thursday at 7:30 p.m. And I am 1 for
25. Landmarks, Linggo, alas 6 hanggang alas 7 ng gabi.
Welcome back. A new Miss Philippines USA has been crowned, and our Los Angeles correspondent Allen Basalyahe was able to talk to the new queen. Take a look.
We're here live with the winner of the Miss Philippines USA 2018. Please introduce yourself to our international viewers.
Hi everyone, my name is Janet Hammond, and I am your new Miss Philippines USA 2018.
So before we get into anything else, how are you feeling?
I feel so blessed, to be honest. I still can't believe this had happened to me. Actually, it was so unexpected.
You can't believe it happened to you, but you worked very hard to get here.
I did. I think throughout this pageant, I always think about how I would work hard to get the title, but I wasn't thinking about the prize. I was actually I was actually leaning towards more about what I would do if I would win, which is, like the platform that I would share with people.
That's a good attitude to have when you compete.
Exactly, because, this is my second pageant, to be honest, and I didn't win the first one that I joined, and this time I'm better. I don't focus on the prize, like just having the crown on your head. You should always focus on yourself, because being able to be a beauty queen, you should always know yourself first so you can share it with other people.
What kind of support did you have in this entire competition?
Okay, these people I'm very thankful for them. I'm very blessed to have them since, the first time I joined a pageant. And what I would like to say is that throughout my childhood and everything up until now that I'm an adult, these people are actually beside me, continue loving me, support me, win or lose, and I can never be grateful for them.
And so we did see Ms. Little Philippines, probably for the first time. Now they have something to aspire for by looking at you.
Exactly, I'm really happy.
So Ms. Philippines USA are involved in a lot of, community outreach, a lot of charity events. Doors are going to open up for you. How do you feel about that?
I think it's overwhelming. Just right now that I just got my title an hour ago, there's already a lot of people trying to get an interview with me. This is what I wanted, and I think this is one step on actually working towards the dream that I want and what I would have to do with people, because this is my training ground to be actually, stand up even though you're tired. This should be my personality if I really want to continue being a beauty queen and to actually make a difference to the world.
So last question, we know you're here to celebrate. Afterwards, when you're all alone, what are you going to do?
I would pray. I actually did, but before I would sleep, I would still pray. It's still not sinking on me like 100%, but while I was backstage, every contestant actually knows that I was just praying. I think God has given me this strength, the confidence, with what I did earlier on that stage. You know what? I felt really empty on that stage. Like, I felt that God was actually moving my body, my face, into actually giving the best look that I could give.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with Eagle News.
Thank you so much.
Meanwhile, Alan was also able to talk to the winner of Miss Young Philippines USA. Here is his interview.
So we're here live with Miss Young Philippines USA 2018. Please introduce yourself to our international viewers.
Hi, my name is Mariel Mendoza. I'm 17 years old and I'm your Miss Young Philippines USA Ambassador and Miss Young Philippines USA 2018.
So how are you feeling right now?
Right now I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. I still can't believe this happened, but I'm really grateful for everyone who has been a part of my journey.
And what was the journey like reaching this point?
Well, for me it was definitely a long journey because it took a lot of mental, physical, and emotional preparation. But the time I spent with the candidates and the other girls, that definitely went by fast, and I will always cherish those memories with them.
So let's talk about that. What kind of relationships or friendships have you formed during this entire experience?
So during this entire experience, we all go through difficulties, but we were always there to support one another. Being a part of Miss Philippines USA, you're around a lot of women who will empower you.
With this win that you have, a lot of opportunities will start to enter your life. What's going on through your mind just thinking about that?
Well, even before this, Miss Philippines USA has provided me with so many opportunities and brought me closer to the Filipino-American community, and I'm ready for this year.
So we're just going to take a step back, and that last few moments when you were just waiting to find out who would be crowned the winner tonight, what was going on through your heart?
Through my heart, I was happy if the other girl had also won because I had such a good experience and really good time with Miss Philippines USA. So whatever the result was, it was my time with them and not just receiving a crown.
So last question, it might be too early to ask, what are you going to do to celebrate?
Well, it's actually my birthday in an hour. I'm turning 18. I'm definitely going to make sure I reach out to all the girls and remind them that they're all beautiful. But most importantly, get some rest, spend time with my family, and then resume with whatever events the organization has.
Congratulations again, and thank you so much for speaking with Eagle News.
Thank you. Have a good night.
And that is the latest news in the Southeast Asian nations. Stay updated about the ASEAN region. I'm Nea Mangawang, always one with 25.